Sister, stand up. Believe in all that you can be. Brother, remember who you are.
Be strong, hold tight to that vision, 'cause no one can ever take it away from you. Be strong, live your life with passion. You got to keep on and hold tight to your vision.
There are mountains to climb, more songs to sing, and tears to be cried.
Ooh, there been moments of loss, moments of winning, a lifetime of love.
Oh, if I just keep in my mind, without any doubt, that I am flying higher. Sister, get up. Believe in all that you can be.
Brother, you've got to know who you are. Be strong, hold tight to that vision, 'cause no one can ever take it away from you. Oh, be strong, live your life with passion. You've got to keep on and hold tight to your vision. This is your moment to rise up. You know the sun's coming out, your new life starting now. Can't keep you down, your spirit's rising. Oh, be strong, hold tight to that vision, 'cause no one can ever take it away from you. Oh, be strong and live your life with passion. You got to keep on and hold tight to surrender to sun shining through your vision.
Hold tight to
Your vision. Never give up now.
hold tight to
Your vision.
I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste one more minute of my life. I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste one more minute of my life. Every moment, every step I take, with every heartbeat and every breath I breathe, I'm grateful. It's sacred, it's so beautiful. I feel your precious presence as in my life. Now I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste one more minute of my life. I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste one more minute of my life. conversation is an opportunity to see the light of love shine as our divinity. It's sacred, so beautiful. I feel your precious presence as my life. Now I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste one more minute of my life. I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste one more minute of my life. Oh yeah, now come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I have so much more to be grateful than to be sorry for. I have so much more to be grateful than to be sorry for. I don't care how old I am or how I've stumbled down. I've got faith and good reason to let my spirit soar like a phoenix thundering out of its dust to sing a song of truth. I'm not stuck inside illusion or the fantasy of youth. And I rise, and I sail, and I soar beyond the walls I've built. And I roar like a distant Mahalia singing to the Lord. I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste one more minute of my life. Now I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste, I won't waste one more minute of my life. I won't waste one more minute of my life. I won't waste one more minute of my life.
I'm turned inside out, and it seems my world is beyond repair. There's nothing left in you, and I live for the pain everywhere. It's easy to believe. You think that the words aren't really felt. How do we move through it when we're lost in something else? See what's inside. Be open to a place that's alive. Will it break you down for the last time? And can you mend? Will you ever mend? I'm vested now, but I like to live my days in distraction. These are the moments when you stand in your reflection. Oh, yeah. See what's inside. Be for the last time.
One seed is all it takes to grow a forest. One candle can light a dark room. One voice is enough, speaking words of love. Each moment becomes what we choose. Do you want a new world? A world that works for everyone? Open your heart and let it be. We can become the new world. Mother Earth beneath the sky. She's waiting for you and for me. Our dreams light the path for us to walk on. Our songs help our spirits align. And each little child helps remind us why we not only might, we must thrive. Do you want a new that works for everyone? Open your life and let it be. We can become the new world. Mother Earth beneath the sky. She's waiting for you and for me to be a new world. Just this thought, it has begun. Now don't you wanna see a new world? In Mother Earth beneath the gray sky, counting on you and me to be a new
calling us forward, upward motion with drops in one ocean. Roll on.
Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now.
Oh, oh, Every day's a chance you can do something amazing to feel your passion blazing and shine.
Paint with every vision and dance in new directions. Explode to new heights in your mind.
I will rise up with you today.
Lift up my voice.
Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. One dream, one voice, one heart, one word. One dream, one voice, one heart, one word. Stand together. One dream, one voice, one heart, one word. Stand together. Live the dream of your highest calling. Be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Yeah, yeah. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Stand together. Live the dream. Be the hope. Share your gifts. Stand together now. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Stand together. Live the dream. Be the hope. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together now. Share your gifts. Stand together.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient, and I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day. You've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really did not let it go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Say I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart's open wide. 'Cause I'm only here for God. Oh, no more struggle, no. With my faith, I see the light. I am
Good morning, High Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome to this amazing Sunday service. We have got on our team, we have got the wonderful Reverend Doug LeBeau in the house. Thank you, Doug, for being here today.
Yeah. I never get to be practitioner. I love it.
And it just reminds me that as ministers, we always like to say, hey, we're practitioners first, which we always continue to be.
Every minister is primarily a practitioner. That's right.
That's right. So welcome, and we're going to talk to you in just a minute. I'm going to do a little opening treatment here in a second, so thank you. Oh my goodness, what a week it's been, everyone. And I want to welcome anybody who hasn't joined our LoveStream before. Thank you for being here, and we really, really love showing up for you, and we really hope that you get some insight or some enjoyment out of it, and make some comments on the comment page on the chat. And if you're brand new, we have people here on the chat who will welcome you and answer any questions you might have. So I am Reverend Karen Mitchell. If you're wondering, not Doug LeBeau, you saw him a minute ago. Reverend Doug is our practitioner today, and I am running the service. So if any strange sounds fly out or strange pictures appear, we know that it is all good because, I'm learning the wonderful amount of technology that Reverend Doug makes look so easy. He really does. He really does. So thank you for being here. And it's been a week as a woman, and no political commenting here at all. As a woman, I just feel really wonderful that we had a week where a woman of colors walked into the White House to start work. And it was only 100 and some years ago at Woodrow Wilson's inauguration that women were beaten and jailed for just trying to earn the vote, the right to vote in this country. So look how far we've come, and farther yet to go. But I love to just embrace the moment and really appreciate that. And also we lost Larry King, the wonderful talk show host. He was hospitalized for COVID earlier in the month, and he's moved on to his next greatest yet to be. And just wanted to acknowledge that today. He interviewed the most amazing people that I grew up seeing on our planet. So Godspeed, Larry King. And I would love it if you would all join me in a moment of prayer treatment, affirmative prayer treatment. And I am going to turn over here and put on some beautiful music by the wonderful Benjamin Dowling, who I first heard playing piano at the Agape Center. And he just has a lovely touch. I invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath. Just come fully present to this now moment. Welcome to now, where we leave everything that has passed in the past, and we do not project out of this moment into the future, which has not happened yet. Fully present, fully powerful in the now. We simply embrace this sacred space together. And what I know is that this celebration, this service, this mind, body, spirit connection that we all have is because there is only one life. One life, one love, one divine intelligence, one breath that breathes my body. That is the truth for me and for all beings everywhere. And I just rest in that beautiful knowing that life is so much bigger than what I see with my eyes, feel with my fingers. So much more. And I come to this now moment to remember who I am. Remember who and what we are. and what we're here for, to be the love. Just be the love. And we already are that. Nothing we have to earn or do or learn. I embrace each one of us, here and everywhere, as that love. I see God, I see Spirit in everything. Such a blessing to be together this morning. My heart is filled with joy and love and gratitude, knowing that what needs to be said is said, what needs to be heard is heard, and life is transformed. So in great gratitude, I simply release this word, this treatment, this prayer to the law that makes it so. And together we say, and so it is. And so it is. So I'm going to welcome our practitioner back right now just to say hello. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to give him a little break for a second. Reverend Doug is going to be standing by. And what I wanted to talk to you about is this tradition that we have of practicing this Ho'oponopono prayer practice. And for those of you that are new to it, what it really is a way of acknowledging that conditions pass, that love is forever, that anything we want or feel we need to forgive or just change our perspective about, we can use this prayer to really just shift us into that other perspective of healing. So we go from the problem into the healing. So join me in this Ho'oponopono, this Hawaiian prayer practice.
I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. We are responsible for what we see. Healing ourselves will heal the world. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. We are responsible for what we see. Healing ourselves will heal the world. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you.
I love that. That just really centers me into what it's all about.
Well, and your chant is so beautiful too. It's not just the prayer, but what you've done with it. It's like a perfect musical representation of what the prayer means.
Thank you so much. So, Reverend Doug, are you ready to read us Ernest Holmes' promises?
Oh, I am so ready.
You are on it. Okay. Here we
I
go.
need them today.
I do too. I need them today too. All right.
So, of course, these are Dr. Holmes's promises. Let's read them together. I keep the promise that I have made myself to affirm in this moment that I am abundant, healthy, strong, and happy. I keep the intention to daily speak this truth to my inner soul, telling it that it is wonderful and marvelous, that it is one with the great cause of life, truth, power, and action. I whisper these things into my soul until it breaks forth into songs of joy with the realization of its limitless possibilities. I assure my soul.
I assure my soul. Thank you, Reverend Doug, for helping us assure our souls this morning. And I think we can even go one step further, reassuring our souls by singing together, I Remember Who I Am. Here we go.
One, two, three.
I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. We are life, we are light, we are love. We are joy, we are peace, we are wisdom. And beautiful harmony. We are pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. We are life, we are light, we are love. We are joy, we are peace, we are wisdom. And beautiful harmony. We are pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. And who we are. His pure spirit. And who we are. His pure spirit.
Pure Spirit. Yeah. What a great song written by Reverend Doug LeBeau. Thank you for writing that. That was amazing. I want to take a moment right now to just remind us that we are a part of a worldwide organization, Centers for Spiritual Living. And Centers for Spiritual Living are all around the globe, and an open and affirming community of centers since 1927. So that's pretty good. It's been a long time here. We're continuing on with that theme, a world that works for everyone. And here at the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living in particular, we want you to know that we're a radically inclusive and mindfully non-racist spiritual community. So all are lovingly welcomed here. Absolutely. So a couple of little announcements. Let's see. So yesterday, I want to thank all the practitioners, first of all, for sending me prayers. And I was having a muscle spasm here going into my neck, and I was in such intense pain. And I was supposed to run the Sister Circle meeting, and I just could not move or get out of bed or be coherent. So thank you, sisters, for understanding. That's our women's group, for those of you who aren't aware of that. And I will send out the email with our new postponed date so we can meet again. And again, thank you for just holding me in that beautiful space of prayer. Obviously up and around much better today, focusing much better today. So thank you. Okay, and then the next thing I want to remind you of is our office hours, which hopefully are coming up here in a second. There they are. It's a miracle. The office hours are Monday 9 to 1, Tuesday 9 to 4, Wednesday 9 to 12, and Thursday 10 to 3. And hopefully that is accurate. That's the information that I have right now. And I want to thank Judy and Brandy for making sure that I got my Centers for Spiritual Living journal for this year of 2021. And we have them in the bookstore. It's an amazing journal that takes you actually through all the themes of the week that Reverend Doug and I talk about on Sundays. So there's room for journaling. You can have mindful thoughts week to week about different focused topics. It's just a wonderful tool to keep in your spiritual tool belt. So I highly recommend getting that and take a visit to the bookstore and do that. So up and coming, we also have a class being taught by Reverend Doug. And so I'm going to invite him back now just to touch base with us a bit about that.
I also have my journal.
I love it.
And everybody, this 2021 spiritual journal, it follows the weekly and monthly themes that Reverend Karen and I will be talking about all year long. And there's places to make notes and to remind yourself of exactly what we talk about. Really pretty terrific. After Centers for Spiritual Living went through its integration of its two previous incarnations, which were the United Church of Religious Science and Religious Science International, to create the much larger organization with many more hundreds of centers all in one organization. We had been teaching the same basic classes for many, many years, and over the last 3 years, the Education Committee has written a bunch of new classes, and I'm really excited to be teaching this brand new class, Spiritual Principles and Practices. The only book that's necessary for it, and it isn't even 100% necessary, but I think many of you already have it, which is this thing called You, which I think is Dr. Holmes's masterwork. If any of you have friends who are interested in what it is that we learn and what it was that we teach, don't suggest that they take a look at the Science of Mind textbook, which is, 800,000 pages. But yeah, right. But have them take a look at this thing called You, because it really encapsulates exactly what we're all about. Yeah. This class, Spiritual Principles and Practices, is a foundations level class. It does count as a certificated class toward going into practitioner training if you should so decide. And it's really streamlined. It's 5 weeks, 2 hours, 2 hours of class. So they'll be from 6 to 8, starting on February 3rd for 5 classes. There's no extraneous stuff in these classes. They are really designed for those of us who are living busy lives. I think you'll really, really enjoy it. Because it is an official class, there is a $45 registration fee that goes directly to Centers for Spiritual Living. And then for our part of it, it's a love offering. So anybody can take the class for a love offering, but you do have to pay the $45 because all the materials are copywritten by the people who wrote them. So join me starting a week from Wednesday, 6 p.m. in the evening. Fantastic class. I think you'll really, really, really enjoy it.
Amazing. That sounds wonderful. Taking classes was what I first did many years ago. I think it was, 2005 or something. I just was so curious. What is this? What is this philosophy? What is this all about? And so taking classes is just a way to, even though you're familiar with this, really dive in. So thank you for doing
We do
that.
have the book in the bookstore too. Judy just texted on the YouTube chat that we have the book in the bookstore. If you don't have a copy of it, you can get it from the bookstore. You can also get it on Kindle, on Amazon, but support the center and buy it from the bookstore.
Fabulous. Okay, wonderful. So Reverend Doug, you're going to do our affirmation and then the flames of faith.
All right. So the affirmation for January 24th, 2021 is, I am the ever-evolving living embodiment of love. Let's all say that together. I am the ever-evolving living embodiment of love. And one more time. I am the ever-evolving living embodiment of love. All right. This is the Flames of Faith. We perform this ceremony on Sundays to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people and all faiths, all beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The unity candle represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the first candle for the shamanic tradition, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle honoring all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principle. And we light the 10th candle for inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome here. And as we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of loved ones, knowing that they have the experience of Spirit's eternal love. So I invite you to join me in prayer right now, and I invite you, if you will, to take a breath with me. And if you feel comfortable, close your eyes and relax into knowing this truth with me, that there is one life, and that this life is God, or spirit, or creative intelligence, or whatever we choose to call it, that does not detract from our understanding and embracing of it. It is the universal, ever unfolding and ever evolving consciousness of love. It is this entire universal experience, the cosmos, the universe and the multiverses, all made up of this same thing, spirit, the ethos, the essence of love and creativity, and all of the personalities that it expresses as wisdom, intelligence, the universal receptivity of its own creative self expressed as and through each and every one of us in each and every moment. We cannot be separate from this divine, creative, spiritual self. We individualize it. As St. Teresa of Avila reminds us, we are the hands, the eyes, the ears, the feet of spirit as it's expressing itself and ever evolving itself. It has been on this journey of self evolving for 13.8 billion years, and we are part and parcel of it. Every iota of the universal experience was there at the beginning and is here now. And we, each of us, are made of atoms and molecules that were there at the beginning and are here now. We are the ever evolving experience and consciousness of love. And so today I speak my word for myself and Reverend Karen and for the entire High Desert Center for Spiritual Living community. And what I know is that right where we are, love is evolving and expressing itself. Right where we are, good is evolving and expressing itself. Right where we are, abundance, prosperity, and comfort, ease, effortlessness, health, well-being are expressing themselves through and as each of us fully. I know that all is well. I declare that life is good, and I declare that the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living and all of its membership, our partners, our families, our friends, and yes, our community, our state, and our nation are in an evolvement of this love. Love expressing, love evolving, love eternalizing itself through and as each of us. I know that all is well, that life is good, and that we are good in this life because we are this life and it is us. And so in immense gratitude, conscious gratitude, I release my word into the action of this love, of this law, knowing that it does the work of our conscious decision right now in this moment, and know that all is well. I let it be and I let it go. And as I release it, together we affirm this blessing by saying, and so it is.
And so it is. Reverend Doug, thank you so much for being here, supporting me this morning as well as supporting all of our community and those new to our community. And I just look forward to the ever-evolving growth and prosperity of the High Desert Center, which is
And I will, thank you. I will be on the Zoom after service. Of course, I'm going to go right back to bed after that, but I will be on the Zoom after service. I'll host the Zoom. And Karen, thank you so much for doing service this weekend. It just happened that it was already on our schedule. I can't imagine if I'd have had to do service and prepare for service after having my shingles shot on Friday, which laid me out.
It did, yeah.
All day. I never got out of bed yesterday. I would not have been able to do it. So thank you so much for just everything that you bring to our community and our center. I love you so much, you and Kevin. I'm so appreciative of having you in our ministry.
Couldn't do it without Kevin, my God. Thank you for marrying us.
You're welcome. One of the best things I ever did.
Oh, yeah. If nothing else, just for the broadcasts. It's been fantastic. Thank you, Reverend Doug. And, just relax and hang out for a few minutes, okay? Oh, boy. Okay. So, January. We're almost at the end. We've got one more week. Reverend Doug's going to do the last week of January. But our January theme has been timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. So that's the theme for the whole January that Reverend Doug has been talking about. And this week, week 4, our topic is looking ahead. Having taken stock, we look ahead to the possibilities that lie beyond the horizon. We set our intentions and set to the work of moving forward. And, it is a bit of work that we get to do on ourselves and our lives. So Dr. Ernest Holmes says, the spiral of life is upward. Evolution carries us forward. So Ernest Holmes strongly believed that there was no sort of going forward and then falling back and then losing your consciousness and having to work back up and get it again. Ernest Holmes and I agreed, strongly believed that it really is a spiral of evolution, forward and upward. So remembering that we are always, always in that spiral of evolution, moving forward, no matter what anything looks like at the time, we're always moving forward in some way. And when we do the work that it takes to sort of assess where we've come from, just like when I was talking about women getting the vote, we look back to see it in our rearview mirror and say, wow, okay, that's where we came from, and here we are today. And we're going to talk a lot about that idea this morning, about how do we look ahead without losing our perspective in the now? And that's really important. So we'll be talking about that. So right now I have some special music for you. I recorded this a couple of years ago, and I didn't write this song, but I felt that it really worked well with our theme about not really being able to move forward until you really do sort of let go of those things that are stuck in your spiritual pipeline and clogging your path to your self-awareness. So this song is called Let It Go, and this was recorded by Tim McGraw, and then that's me singing and playing a little guitar. Here we go.
Caught sideways out here on the crossroads, trying to buy back the pieces I lost of my soul. Life is hard when you think the devil's on your back, like carrying around the past in 100-pound sack. Today, gonna keep on walking, hold my head up high and leave it all behind. Today, gonna stand out in the rain and let it wash it all away. Yeah, wash it all away. Gonna let it go. Oh, oh yeah. Come on now. Gonna let it go. Ghosts are hiding in the shadows, trying to threaten me with all the things that they know. Choices and mistakes, they all know my name. But I'm tired of giving in and holding on to all that pain. Today, I'm gonna keep on walking, gonna hold my head up high and leave it all behind. Today, gonna stand out in the rain, let it wash it all away. Yeah, wash it all away. Gonna let it go. Oh, oh yeah. Gonna let it go. Oh, oh yeah. Well, I know I'll keep forgiving. And I know that's the way to keep living. Today, gonna keep on walking. Come on. Gonna hold my head up high. I'm gonna leave it all behind. Today, gonna stand out in the rain. Gonna let it wash away. Let it wash it all away. Gonna let it go. Oh, oh yeah. Gonna let it go. Oh, oh yeah.
All right, let it go. So here's some lyrics from that song. Been caught sideways out here on the crossroads. For how many of us has 2020 been kind of like that, right? Trying to buy back the pieces I lost of my soul. We get derailed. We forget who we are. It's hard when the devil won't get off your back. It's like carrying around the past in a 100-pound sack. And then, of course, the chorus, today, meaning to me the now moment, like right now, I'm going to keep walking. Going to hold my head up high. Going to leave it all behind. Today I'm going to stand out in the rain. Let it wash it all away. Yeah, wash it all away. I'm going to let it go. So this January theme of this evolving wisdom, this timeless wisdom, we're really called to a higher state of consciousness and action, I think, than we ever have been before. So much is going on that for us as spiritual seekers, sort of sitting around and accepting what is and then not doing the work to actually look ahead, which is our weekly theme today, that's just doesn't feel right for us anymore. It's just not a good fit for us anymore. We're about the business of doing that work that it takes to evolve at this higher calling. We're called to be the love in the world. And that's kind of an important thing to think about when we talk about our own lives and how we look back or look ahead. The truth is that we are, as Reverend Doug said in his beautiful, beautiful treatment, we are the body of the universe. So we are the manifest body of the one infinite reality. And the one infinite reality, what is that? It's the truth that it is ever evolving good. That spiral upward, that evolution that Dr. Holmes talks about. So we really are the hands and the feet and the eyes and ears of the divine here on earth in these beautiful, amazing bodies. Dr. Holmes tells us that unless we become the living embodiment of love and light, we shall have no justification in saying that God is love and light. So how can we say, oh, God's love and light, but I'm just kind of a silly human. I don't really count, And sometimes we have that negative self-talk. At least I do. I don't know if anyone can relate, but sometimes I feel like I just would love to really feel all that divine power, like right where I am, more than I do. And I know it's all about remembering that it is here all the time, but sometimes we get caught in that idea that being spiritual is different than being human. And that's kind of what we're talking about now today, is that this is all an integration. So if we're the body of the universe, and if the divine creation is within us, and that's who and what we are, and like Reverend Doug said in his treatment, all of this is inseparable. You cannot separate one from the other, the body from the spirit or the mind. So remembering that is sometimes a challenge. And I think that one of the keys to remembering that is to work on becoming more self-aware. So we use tools like our 2021 journal, which is fabulous, which I'm just starting to work with now. We use these tools. We use tools of prayer, meditation, reading. We use all these tools to help us to develop an awareness of ourselves. And a self-aware person is a person who really understands their own place in the universe. And this is the ongoing debate. Of course, I'm an animal lover. There's always the debate, well, are animals self-aware? Do they have an awareness? And I'm not going to debate that right now. But I would say that there are levels of self-awareness in nature and in creation. Obviously, a rock, I don't, know how self-aware a rock is, but certainly it's all creation. It's all part of the one. So one thing that keeps us from achieving that self-awareness, even though if we meditate, we pray, as I mentioned before, are our hidden belief systems. So I like to call them the old BS belief systems. So from the time we're born and as we grow and we have parents and influencers who, and the environment and everything around us is kind of always informing us how to feel, how to believe. This is bad, that's good, this is right, that's wrong. And it turns into our idea of the world around us and our idea of ourselves. Some of the time then people grow up believing they themselves are bad and wrong and stupid, and other times people believe they're fantastic, but the world is bad and stupid and wrong and a horrible place. So I think uncovering and discovering, taking these classes that we talked about, certainly when you dive in to your hidden belief systems, it's a whole other thing. You're peeling back the layers of that onion of sort of false ideas that you believe are true, and you really get down to the meat and the bone of really who we are. So hidden beliefs are a thing that can really prevent you from achieving your self-awareness goal. It reminds me of Maslow's theory, the hierarchy, right? I don't know if any of you who ever took psychology or anything have ever read this before, but we have needs, and basic needs need to be taken care of before other needs. In this whole COVID thing, I mean, some of us have been, 9 months, 10 months, a year, not socializing, not doing our normal lives, certainly not performing as a singer live. We're not gathering together as a community at the center right now. We're really focusing on our basic needs: health, safety, food, water, toilet paper. Remember when that was the big deal, trying to get a paper towel, food, water, sleep. And those needs need to be taken care of first. Then, of course, there's safety, and we're focused on that too right now. We're living in these lower levels of this pyramid right now out of necessity, because we really need to keep ourselves and our neighbors and our family safe. At the same time, one level up here, we have love and belonging. Who can live without love and belonging? Deeper, more meaningful relationships. This virtual broadcast, this LoveStream, is a way of belonging and loving each other and reaching out, even though we are still focused on the safety and all those issues. Once we achieve a level of love and belonging, we know we're in community, we're not alone. We have loved ones reaching out to us either virtually or in person now. Then you reach that level of esteem. Okay, so now you feel like, I've kind of done some work here. I've gone past the basic needs of life, and now I've done some work, and now I'm moving towards this self-actualization, living to your highest potential. And that's the work that I was outlining we need to do. It's kind of we're being called to a higher calling right now, beyond our basic needs, beyond the basic needs of others. So, maybe we are reaching out more in praying for each other, in holding each other in a space of love when we can't physically be together. And I think that really helps us to kind of connect. In the science of mind, we talk about something that some of us have done and some of us do, kind of a spiritual bypass. And let me see if I can find this Ernest Holmes quote right here. So, in the science of mind, we don't say that everything's all right when it's all wrong. Now, that's not to say that you won't hear us say it's all good at the level of the divine, at the level of infinity. It's all good. There is only one force, and that is the force for good, and that is the divine creating. only good. But when someone is suffering with COVID, someone has lost a loved one, someone's lost their job, someone has lost their focus, maybe they only have a few dollars to get them by. The last thing we want to do is to say, yeah, but it's really all good and your problem isn't really real, because that's just in your mind. You're just not evolved enough to manifest a better life. This is not how we use the science of mind to punish ourselves or others. We don't do that. And I'm so glad that Ernest Holmes said that right out, that we don't do that. I've heard people say, yeah, but it's all good. You can't complain about anything. We're not here to hide our head in the sand. We're here to acknowledge what is. COVID is. Racism is. We have had all these issues come out to be healed, to be revealed. And we don't hide our heads in the sand. We use our tools in our spiritual and physical tool belts. So I love the idea that Eckhart Tolle, you may have heard of him, he wrote The Power of Now, he wrote A New Earth, and he's talking here with Oprah Winfrey about being in the moment. Of course, that's, as Reverend Doug said a week or so ago, you would never hear about The Power of Now or Eckhart Tolle if he hadn't written about that. But it's wonderful to remember that the real power is in the now. And when we talk about this looking ahead, we're not trying to deny what is, and we're not trying to forget the past, but there's a special way to look ahead. Let's see what Eckhart has to say about this.
Human alone is never enough, no matter how hard you try or what you achieve. I just love that sentence. I loved it so much I wrote, wow. See, I wrote, wow. Human alone is never enough, no matter how hard you try or what you achieve. Then there is being. It is found in the still, alert presence of consciousness itself. The consciousness that you are. Human is form, being is formless. Human and being are not separate, but interwoven. Yeah. That's the essence, to me, of this chapter.
Yes, and one could say the essence of the whole teaching, in a way. It's
yes.
one way of putting it. And of course,
human alone is never enough, no matter how hard you try or what you achieve. And that is the essence of why people are in such suffering and such struggle and such, angst against themselves in life, is it not?
And it's why they play roles, because the ego plays roles, because there's unawareness that within you there is the source of all power. So people who are out of touch with the power within, or the place where all power resides, the aliveness itself, consciousness itself, then they feel a sense of lack. Why are they not in touch with it? Because they are not present. They are not in the present moment, because the present moment is the entry point into that place of power within. If you're not present, you don't realize that there is a source of power within, and then you believe that you need to get secondary power from someone or some situation or other people. Then the ego plays roles to manipulate the environment and other people to get what it thinks it needs, not realizing that all the things that it thinks will give it the power that it seems to lack, all that is already within you, if you could only be present in the now.
I got it. Okay, so the question is how not to lose ourselves in the human dimension. How not to, by being present in the now.
Yes, and by realizing that whenever you lose yourself, realizing...
In the human dimension.
In the human...
That's all the stuff that being human brings with it.
Yes, on the most primordial level, losing oneself means losing oneself in that continuous stream of thinking that goes through people's heads. So it drags you along, it takes all your conscious attention. Remember, we started today with taking attention away from mind and putting it into the body.
Right.
Another thing you can do is take attention away from thinking and put it into sense perceptions and really look and listen and touch things. So like an alertness arises.
You know what I found by doing this? I don't know about all the rest of you, but I have found by being more present, just doing that one exercise, putting yourself, if I'm walking along a path in the woods near my house, be there and not be, in my head thinking
Yes.
about what I need to do, just to be there. And what I found is, I don't know if you all are realizing this too, you are just less stressed.
Less stressed.
You're just less stressed.
And
You're calmer.
Yes. And you don't carry the heavy burden of a personality or me with the burden of past and future, my problematic future, my problematic past. You're much more, you're light and free when you walk in presence.
Okay, but my hairdresser, Andre, asked me this morning, so I'm going to ask you. Then how do you ever plan for anything if you're not thinking about the future? How do you ever get anything done?
You plan in the present moment. When the time comes to plan, and the time is not when you're walking in the woods. When you're walking in the woods, the time is to be present.
Unless you want to go to the woods to plan. You could go to the woods to plan?
You could, yes,
Yeah.
you could. But it's much more likely that your planning is going to be fruitful if it is preceded by a period of presence and stillness.
Yeah, so how do we plan for anything and look ahead, which we've been talking about this week? How do we look ahead if we're still trying to be in the present moment? And I think that is the key question. And Eckhart Tolle says, get still and just be where you are now. And then if you're going to plan, but don't do the thing where you're doing something now, like walking around, not planning, and then you're in your head running a movie. Oh, if he says that, what am I going to say? What if that happens? And what if this earthquake happens? And what if... So that's not looking ahead, really. That's just projecting possible outcomes, which is not really productive. So getting still, starting right where you are, I think that's the whole point about that. And the thing is, getting back to the spiritual bypass idea, when we're hurt by something, when we're hurt by a situation, it's really easy to just go into our heads and just turn off our hearts. But, when I first discovered the science of mind, I thought, oh, the science of mind, this is great. I can figure this out. It's logical. I don't have to be emotional about it. I can just, it's logical, do this treatment and this will happen. And I can just keep it all right here in my logical zone. Of course, that's not what it is about, but it appealed to me because I was coming from a place at that time, many, many years ago, of hurt and disillusionment with other religions, and didn't want to be part of a religion. So for me, this philosophy of the science of mind was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. And I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but I'm kind of a cerebral person also some of the time. So getting back to that idea, when something hurts us emotionally, there's also the idea that it's actually in our bodies, that we actually hold it in our bodies. The ancient Qigong, the Chinese wisdom, they say that we hold anger in our liver, we would hold fear in our kidneys, grief in our lungs, so that people then would tend to manifest issues in those body parts if they're holding on to all of these things. And there's a great connection with our mind, body, spirit. I tend to think of the body before this philosophy. I tended to think of the body as just sort of this throwaway thing, that it's like a car I'm driving for a while, and then I'm gonna, when I die, I'll just be this pure energy. So who cares? It's just my body. Like, it doesn't really connect with anything that's going on with me. And I know that sounds strange, but I just thought, it was so much more important to be spiritual and to have my mind and my spirit, because the body, it's going to be gone. So why would I worry about it? So I know. But it's true. It is an actual connection, what happens to us. And it's always a balance between the heart and the mind. For me, we talk about, and Eckhart just said, we talked about bringing from the mind down into the heart. And I've heard practitioners start a prayer by saying, okay, let's bring our mind into our heart. And it's an idea of really just connecting what's really already connected, but we forget that it's all connected. There have been some really amazing studies about people who have undergone trauma, and this is also whole races of people who've undergone trauma where it's actually in their DNA and can be passed on to future generations. So a lot of that research is going on right now, and especially about Holocaust survivors and whether that trauma actually is, sent down through DNA to children and grandchildren. And there's a wonderful Dr. Levine who practices this wonderful practice of helping people with their trauma. Just a quick little video.
Peter Levine was at a trauma conference in the Middle East when someone in the audience asked a question. Is it possible to work with a trauma if you don't know what it is? So Peter threw the question back and asked if anyone in the audience had a particular symptom that they'd like to work on. One man raised his hand. It was Chaim Dachsberg. He just happened to be an expert in the field of treating trauma, and Peter shares his story now.
He was the leading person on pioneering psychoanalytic treatment for Holocaust survivors. And he came up and said that he had severe back pain for 30 years, non-remitting back pain.
So next, Peter did a pain assessment with Chaim. Chaim turned out to be a 9 on a 10-point scale. That's pretty harsh pain. What Peter did next was to draw attention to the area of pain in Chaim's back. He asked him to notice any muscle tension that might be lying underneath the pain.
So he took a few moments and he said, yes, I feel the tension. I feel a lot of tension in my back. And then I said something like, is the tension equal on both sides? And again, he went in to explore. He said, no, it's more on the right. And then I said, okay, if you feel that tension and that you allow that tension to just slowly move your body, in what way might it move your body? And then he feels himself moving and orienting towards the right side. Then all of a sudden he starts breaking out in sweat, autonomic memory, emotional autonomic memory. And he said, I'm afraid I'm falling. And I came up and put my hand behind his head to make sure he had support. And then, again, just waves of sweating, of terror.
Peter began sensing two things. Number one, he thought Chaim might be working through an implicit memory. And number two, Peter sensed that Chaim was getting stuck in an incomplete response. This memory was triggering a lot of pain and confusion, and it was about to come to the surface.
And he then had the memory of image of he was an army doctor, and the truck that he was in was ambushed, and he fell out into a ditch on his back. Everyone else was killed except for him because they didn't see him. And it was just a horrific sight. And then at the end, we reoriented and looked around the room, and I asked him about the pain level, and he said, 1 or 2. Oh, I barely feel it. So that was working with that particular symptom.
That's a helpful framing of the issue when we're talking about traumatic memory. The memory can often live on in the physical patterns and the cognitive patterns that a client might develop after a traumatic experience. This can become a painful paradox because the very response that kept our client from harm can now also be keeping them from healing. Now I'd like to hear from you. How will you use this idea in your work today? Please leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.
So how will we use that idea that, wow, perhaps traumas that we've suffered actually are being held in our bodies, and maybe my early naive idea that my body is not really that connected to what's happening to me is really absolutely incorrect. What happens to us can actually live in our bodies, as our nervous system can be triggered by remembering a traumatic experience. So I love the fact that Science of Mind and the Centers for Spiritual Living are bringing all this stuff up as part of our weekly themes, because, it's so groundbreaking and so amazing to really tie in the fact that we just really need to be truly, madly, deeply human. And we are human beings with over 15 billion years of wisdom. We are as old as the universe. And the Centers for Spiritual Living mentioned this month, they're asking, hey, you've got all that wisdom. Let's start acting on it. Let's remember that. We've got wisdom in our DNA. We've got wisdom in our one mind that we all share. And certainly we have wisdom as people. And gosh, heck, if slime mold can organize for its survival, imagine what we can do as human beings if we organized our collective consciousness to create change in the world. Because you know what? After all, God in each of us, as us, is us. So our 2021 vision, timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision. And so these times have been prosperous for some in the COVID situation, and difficult for others financially, but we keep going, we keep showing up here. And I love when Reverend Doug says, look, if you are experiencing challenge financially, keep coming back, keep showing up, keep watching the love streams, keep absorbing this amazing information, because the consciousness of abundance is something that we all focus on and all are interested in growing for our center and for ourselves. So I want to just take a moment about conscious giving. Tithing is a word that I used to not like because it came from an older paradigm, but what it really just means is giving joyfully a portion of what you receive to where you're spiritually fed. So I tithe to singer-songwriters that write songs that move me, that grow me. I tithe to this center, to High Desert Center for Spiritual Living, and I think it's just a beautiful abundance practice that I believe in, definitely. So let's say our giving affirmation together. Affirmative giving is what we love to call it, because it's always for something. It's for prosperity. Here we go. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And I've started doing Reverend Doug's affirmative giving. He says it at the grocery store, at the gas station, wherever he is. I bless this gift in faith, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. So you may ask yourself, how can I give? How can I give to the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living? Well, it's super easy. I use this mobile app, which is the Give Plus mobile app. They make it super duper easy. And I set up a regular payment on there. You can also go to our website, scroll all the way down, donate today. There's our address. If you want to just do an old-fashioned check or pop by the bookstore, excuse me, to get your new journal, we are the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living, 18575 Corwin Road in Apple Valley, California, 92307. So, the time has come when I get to sing Reverend Doug's amazing song, All Is Well. And boy, did I need it this morning. I just want to thank every one of you for being here for this service. It is just truly a blessing for me to be able to be here with you all. I'm going to grab the guitar, clear the frog out of my throat. Maybe it's that Slimer character that I saw earlier on that slide. That was from Ghostbusters. Anyway, those of you who don't know that. All right. Let's take a beautiful deep breath for everything that has been received and given in this service today. And let's sing together, All is Well. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. What I know is that the infinite, ever-evolving Spirit blesses and protects you. I know that Spirit is kind and gracious in all the ways that it flows through you, and I know that Spirit shines its light upon you and is your peace. And so it is. Amen. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. Life is good, and so it is. Life is good, and so it is. Love and blessings to all of you. Don't forget, hang out for the Zoom, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Integrate the mind, body, and spirit. They're all one. Namaste, everyone.
Can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. Make me feel so good, I can do most anything. I am loving every living thing. I can see the face of God and paupers and kings. Whoa, oh, yeah. We're all precious, no one less or more. We've all got the same treasure in store. That's why I'm loving every living thing. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. Woo-hoo. I can't help it, God makes me wanna sing. Makes me feel so good, I can do most anything, everything. I'm believing in my guiding light. I no matter what comes, it always turns out right. Whoa, yeah. Just stick right down.